What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I didn't fill up my water bottle. That's the one regret I have. Sometimes, you have a schedule and you want to hit the necessary things. What's up, brother? How are you? How are you? Let's go, let's go. It's great to hear from you. Progress. I actually am excited to hear the thoughts, comments, questions of my guest who's joining me right now.
That was good,
I have
bro.
ideas that I want to bounce off of you as well. But
All right,
how
we're
you
good.
doing, bro?
Good, good. You
Good.
need some water, of course.
You
Hopefully,
heard
don't do too
that?
much talking today. Yeah, yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, man. So it's been a minute since we last chatted. I
Yeah, it's been a
first
while. Yeah.
off, I love the questions that you're asking in our DM. So let's jump into that because I think with you and the curiosity that you have in relation to um, the sanctity of this whole project is incredibly important. So I'm gonna hand it over to you now.
What exactly do you want to meet? Like the Natty King in general,
Yeah,
and
or
like,
whatever questions that you had already expressed.
okay. So one big thing. It was one thing you were talking with Greg, right? And he was mentioning one of the supplements that it's natural, it's allowed in leagues, but there's some anabolic components in there.
Yeah,
I was curious, what supplement was that? And
turkesterone,
sorry.
turkesterone.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so what would your plan be? I mean, for something like that.
yeah,
And also, let's say something like creatine, right? Something that's like super mainly used by almost, I'd say a lot of
yeah,
bodybuilders.
yeah,
If that's something that, you decide like, oh, maybe, is Natty King supposed to be taking this? Is that natural? And if that's like gets decided in the
yeah,
rules,
yeah.
um, you know, how would you regulate that rules? How would you like? Would you say like, okay, a year off of creatine, and then you can compete in the Natty King,
Right.
or
Yeah.
how would you go about that?
Really, really great questions. The way I would want to do it is whatever supplement that's not considered banned by WADA, I would like to just make free game. That's for the athletes who want to, like, they want to take supplements. I have no issue with supplements at all. My issue is banned substances in the form of SARMs. I don't want to fuck with, I don't want to mess with peptides. But that's just me as an athlete. That's just me as an athlete who is advocating for natural bodybuilding. I have no interest in peptides. However, I would specifically stick with what is currently banned on WADA as, like, that's what you cannot take. If an athlete wants to take a peptide, it's very gray. It's very gray. But who am I to say, like, you can't take a peptide? You know what I mean? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, there's lots of reasons, like, specifically medically too, like why you could, like, I've even considered that, like, when I do retire down the line, like with my injury I had, like, I got scar tissue. You know, I got something to worry about down the line if, it's not fully healed,
Yeah,
110%.
yeah,
So if I want to, be healthy down the line, it's something I have to consider.
yes,
Um,
yes. Yeah, no, and honestly, to that extent, it's like we do wanna, and this is why I'm happy to, like, that you're asking these questions, because we do wanna get some clarification on what we mean by natural. Like,
right.
what does it mean to be a natural bodybuilder? What does that mean when we, like, are we allowed to take creatine? Are we allowed to take peptides? Are we still considered natural? Like, that needs to be cleared up.
Right.
Yeah,
I actually just hopped back on creatine last week. And so I'm a little judgmental when I talk about this, but especially when it comes to just supplements in general. Like I think it's a bit over marketed, over advertised, and you see it on almost every single, person's page. They have 10% off, buy supplements using my code. Um and you know, I asked my friends, oh, what are you doing for your diet? Like what are you eating? And here protein shake, sometimes creatine, I see veggie greens on Instagram all the time, and like not eating any vegetables, not eating any real meat, any other like sources of real protein. and it's all coming from a supplement. I'm like, why are you going to the supplement when like the source is still there?
Yeah,
What there's no need, and you're getting a lesser version, like it's because it's not real. It has lots of the micros missing, and so like I just think it's a real problem in the industry, and not that supplements are like no one should be taking them because
right.
I mean they do help. It's just
So here's
the
the
average.
problem, Eric. Here's
Yeah,
the problem, is that the more supplements, like supplements, are created to sell products. So it's like if we have creatine and it shows there's a 1.5% increase of your recovery, we're gonna sell this product,
yeah.
right?
And that's the
And
thing. People
yeah,
want that, right? People looking for this that edge, right? Everyone wants that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's crazy because it's like we're not even talking about athletes. And I would like to go into a deeper dive on the psychology of an athlete who is thinking whatever it takes to win, even if it means if you have to cheat, but you can still win if you cheat, then do it, right? Like I want to dive into like that's a specific athlete's mentality. That's not for everyone, right?
Mm,
Um, but even still, it's like supplements were invented to make money, and if natural bodybuilders were only focused on getting their proper nutrition from like a well balanced diet of protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and like that was the only thing they were putting into their body, again, you and I both understand that the percentage of difference between that and supplements is so marginal
but it makes a
that
difference. But it makes a difference in the next to the next person feeding on stage next to you, right?
correct,
So why don't you, right? And
correct.
that's why people competing, people that are doing this stuff, you probably should be taking supplements and doing this stuff. And see, it's just like my problem is the fact that there isn't any real source, like the people that go for supplements only and are avoiding the real sources and like don't have
That's
any in the diet. Well, that's my problem
That's
with it.
my point. And honestly, to an extent, that's why like I'm not currently doing any supplements because I'm of the opinion because like I just got into like athleticism.
Hmm,
I'm coming from a filmmaker and storytelling background, right? So my goal isn't to like use any edge to get ahead of the competition. Like that's not how my brain's wired. My
hmm,
brain is wired on how can I peak myself? How can I become the best version of myself physically, mentally, and spiritually? And I'm not thinking about supplements to help me with that experience
right,
you know because then if I'm like relentlessly focused on peaking myself when I step on stage, I'm going to be proud of that package. I'm not going to be thinking,
absolutely.
oh,
Yeah.
what supplements could I have taken to like improve my chances. I'm not thinking about that because I'm only focused on what's the best physique I can create with food, diet, training, and sleep. That's what I'm
That's
focused
what
on.
I'm doing too right now.
Yeah,
Like I said, a little judgmental because I did hop back on creatine.
I get
Um,
it. Yeah.
but yeah, just that little bit, right? Just that little 1%.
Hmm.
But that's the only thing I plan on taking. And I was, you know, advertising that for a while, displaying that on my page that like I wasn't taking any supplements. I didn't take any. It was for I think about 2 years when I basically first got injured. Coming back into the gym, doing my competition, and then booking up to the size I am now, and there are no supplements. Like you can do it. You don't need it. But
Absolutely.
the people who are competing to be the best of the best, you know, that's where I think it really does come in. And like, yeah, you should be starting to think about it.
Okay, so let's talk about like athlete psychology for a second because I would like to get your opinion. Um, and you don't have to like just give me your personal opinion from your experience. How many athletes, if you had to like split it, how many athletes are willing to do whatever it takes in order to win, and how many athletes are interested in just like being the greatest within their own moral code? Like they know right from wrong, and they're focused on being the greatest, regardless as to like this person's cheating over there, so I guess I should cheat. Like how many athletes aren't thinking like that, and how many are?
Hmm. From my experience, um, there's a lot of emotions that go into this. And like even for myself, like I definitely experienced this myself. Like when I didn't win, I definitely felt like, lesser of myself and I felt like I could have done better. I should have done this, should have done that. Um, and that's definitely not the way to do it. Like, doing this is fucking hard. If you could do this, like, you're a winner in yourself, and like, you got to be proud of yourself for what you're doing. You are likely better than you were before. You're better than your last self, and every time you are working to become a better self of yourself. You should beating yourself every time you step on stage and trying to beat yourself and only
That's the
yourself.
dream. That is literally the dream. That's the beauty of the sport.
Mm. Another question I wanted to talk to you about. I never got an answer. It was regarding a little off topic, a little off topic,
Of
regarding
course.
the anime and whatnot.
I love the
I was
anime.
I was curious. What were you going with? Were you going more realism
Oh
or were you
yeah,
going more
yeah.
fantasy
I've been
with
looking
it?
forward to talking
Because
to you about this.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because like obviously we got realism animes. There's volleyball, basketball. I think
Yeah.
there's golf coming out, whatever.
Dude.
And then obviously fantasy, obviously
Yeah.
wherever with it.
I
Um,
was I was really hoping to revisit this topic today with you. So I'm
cool,
glad that
cool.
you mentioned it.
So yeah, I wanted to know what's your plans with that? What are you sort of thinking with that?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Such a great question, man. All right. So I really think about scalability, right? And as a storyteller, as a very passionate storyteller, I am very attached to epic scale. And in order to show epic scale correctly, you have to start as small as possible. And it does not take, like, it doesn't matter how long it takes to get to like super epic, universal, multiversal feats of like strength and power and will and determination and discipline. And like we can show all of those skills, self-belief, imagination, and focus at the highest level where it looks like multiversal feats are happening. But the first season has to be grounded in the most realistic depiction of what it means to be a natural bodybuilder as possible.
Okay.
That first season needs to be very grounded, and we have to get into like the nitty gritty of what a natural bodybuilder is doing in order to peak their physique. And then, as they get closer to the competition, the Natty King, that's when we actually start incorporating more supernatural abilities due to like the
Okay.
scale of competition. As the
Okay.
competition gets higher, like you just start becoming more aware, like, holy shit, that person can do that. Maybe I can do that. And like you're
I
just
like your
leveling
answer.
up consistently their belief systems.
Yeah, I love that answer. 'Cause now you're showing the realism, like you're showing the sport, and that's like obviously the main thing. We want to show off natural bodybuilding or just bodybuilding in general, right? And then you're also leaving it open to the fantasy side too. So like that's an awesome plan. I actually love that answer.
Yeah,
Um, okay. So then, with anime, I wanted to know, like, because obviously you talked about like the mind powers and whatnot.
absolutely.
Um, wh- what else might? Because like, there's obviously spiritual too. What else might they experience? What
Yeah,
else might
love
they
it.
awaken
Such a great
inside them?
question. Such a great fucking question. All right, so the most recent frame of reference that I can point you to is sports anime. I'm going to be checking out this one called The Legend of Aoashi, which is a soccer anime. But basically, the way that I would specifically in the first season, and then I would like to play with it later on, but the way that I would like to present powers in that anime world, it would be in the form of aura and like perception. Oh shit, did I lose you? Uh oh. Man, wait, did I lose you?
We're good, we're good.
Okay, what was the last thing you heard?
I heard all that.
Okay, great, great, great. All right, so especially the first season, but obviously we would want to expand. It would be aura and perception. That would be how you would be interacting with like powers of will, self belief, imagination, and focus. Each athlete who is endowed with those abilities is constantly working to level that stuff up, and is perceived by the audience in the form of like, let's say an athlete's standing there and he's about to hit a set of like a deadlift.
Mm,
Aura is radiating from him because he's visualizing the efficiency and the power of the reps, and he's actually seeing that future. But
okay, yeah,
from onlooker at the gym, what he's seeing is just aura and just like there's a presence. And I
okay,
really
I
want
like
to
it.
I want to place a truly great emphasis on presence and have that translate to aura because at the end of the day, the King of Naturals tournament and the entire Natty King project is about establishing aura within the sport and within the athletes that are competing within the sport. So basically, to answer your question, all powers are going to be like aura and perception based. We're creating our reality,
Mm.
and that's kind of how we get to play with the power system.
Okay, no, I actually love that answer. I'm loving all of that. You got me really hyped for this anime. I can't lie.
Me too, bro.
And
But
like,
we're
wait,
writing it right now. Like we're creating it. Like you're like a founding father of it.
man,
Like
that
you're a part of it.
it makes me excited to hopefully see this come to fruition, man.
Oh yeah.
And like starting off, obviously, it's starting off slow, starting off small. Like think about like One Piece, right? How long of an anime, right?
Yeah.
But starting off at nothing and getting his first crewmate
Yep.
to
Yep.
become this super overpowered guy with this super awesome crew, and
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So I love that idea. I think
Yeah.
that you're right on the mark with that.
And One Piece is actually like the perfect example. I think you even sent me a DM saying like the
Yeah.
Goldie there. Yeah, that's
It
this is
literally reminded me of One Piece, like this whole thing, the Natty King, right? Like
yeah.
this is the One Piece
Yep.
starting, and everyone's gonna want the title of the Natty King, the One
Yep.
Piece,
Yep.
and Shaun Fury is
Goldie
Luffy
Roger.
D, Goldie Roger,
Yeah.
and starting the whole wave of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And my whole plan is to like write myself out of the story as eloquently as possible to like leave the stage for like the athletes. You know,
Right,
like I want to create the stage. you know?
right.
So
I love that. I think that's so awesome, man.
thank you. Uh-oh. Feel like I may have lost you again.
Sorry. Okay, no, I'm back. Sorry. Was there any other questions you had for me, man?
Yes, I do. I do have a question for you. When I first spoke to you, we kind of talked about like the full circle trajectory of your career, where like you were first brought into the sport because of coaches. Like you had a number of coaches that kind of worked with you and helped you and like understand your passion within the sport,
Mm,
and you see an opportunity as you continue in your own bodybuilding career to do that for the next crop of athletes who want to be bodybuilders, right?
mm.
um, I wanted to ask, when I don't know if you're coaching currently. Are you coaching currently?
Not anyone right now, no.
Okay, okay. So I wanted to ask, when you see yourself coaching in the future, do you see yourself primarily coaching athletes, or do you think you'll also be working with lifestyle clients?
Oh, for sure, lifestyle clients. I definitely love that. Even like when it comes to the bodybuilding, right? Like I posted on my page. It was my first peak week that I did. And like I definitely wouldn't take on a bodybuilding client, like someone who's wanted to do a prep. Obviously, I definitely would want to work with someone and like work towards that. Do practice runs, in a normal, obviously, work environment, and do a practice prep, to see if we can nail it on a certain day. And then, once experienced in that, then I would be confident enough to move on to that. But definitely, lifestyle, I'm very confident with it.
Yeah.
It's just very tough because it comes down like peak week. It's literally like day to day judgment. Like you're looking at the body that day. All right, what do we need to do? And like, it's, and like getting it down to a specific day. Like
Hmm.
you got to know your shit. You got to be good. So just a little bit of confidence levels, hands-on experience, just say, okay, yeah, let's do it. We're confident we can do it.
Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
that's kind of where I'm at.
I want to plant a seed and just get your feedback on this seed. And this is something I plan on watering over like the next couple of years. But you remember when like when we were younger, like in our 10, 11, 12, and we had an awareness of martial arts schools, like
Yeah,
karate classes,
I took
like
taekwondo.
stuff like that. When you think back on that time, and it was all like self defense, martial
Mm,
arts stuff like that, the kids weren't really going for the purpose of becoming the next great karate master, but they were still going because of the core values and principles that self-defense and martial arts instill in the
mm,
person who is pursuing that discipline, right?
mm. That's why I went. Like I went because I was, learning self defense to take care of myself.
Right, right, right. And then beneath that layer of like the specific, you're going for self defense and how to take care of yourself, you're also learning morals and philosophies on like with great power comes great responsibility. Like you learn technique, and it's not like you're going to go outside and exercise that technique on the first person who's like an asshole to you,
Right.
because you're learning that self control and stuff like that, right? So I actually see a really cool opportunity to kind of convert bodybuilding, specifically natural bodybuilding, away from the sport that it's currently being presented at as, and more of a discipline similar to how martial arts have been displayed in our society. So,
And that's very real. Like it's very real, right? There's a lot of discipline, and there's definitely a mindset when it comes to
mm-hmm,
this.
mm-hmm,
Um, and like when I first started, I definitely wasn't the same guy I am now.
mm-hmm.
I had cheat meals, and it just would go off plan, wouldn't stick to it. Be 3 months, and then I would be 80% on the diet, and then I'd have other shit. And then as time went on, discipline built. You know, you start to really, really see what everything goes into your body does to you. And yeah. Um, so yeah, that's where I went with it. But I want to get back to the topic we're at. Can you go forward with that?
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Uh, Back on the anime.
Yeah.
So okay, so now we have the Natty King, right?
Mm-hmm,
Um, Now next season comes around, the Natty Queen. Are
mm-hmm.
you gonna do the Natty Queen in the anime? Are you gonna go into a men's
Yeah.
physique season? Um, and then what's your plan with that?
Yeah, those are really great questions. The way that I would want to do it is I would want, honestly, from that point on, it would be a matter of what's going to be successful and where can we actually create the success within telling that story. Because in the event that the sequence of events, goes swimmingly, we get the Natty King crown in 2028. We have the cinematic docuseries on Netflix that goes straight into a feature-length film that we're, premiering in movie theaters and stuff like that. And everything's a huge hit. And now we're going into production on the anime that takes place 20 years in the future. That's like the
Question for you.
uh-huh.
It's when you do movie, are you gonna do worldwide release, or are you gonna do region locked? Would you
I
do
would
worldwide?
I would absolutely want to do worldwide, which is
Okay,
why
okay.
we're casting worldwide.
Just because
Yeah.
the problem with what happened with what's it called, Demon Slayer,
Oh.
hell of people, like hell of sites had it, so
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want stuff like that happening.
Yeah. No. No. We would want this to feel like a cultural moment for the planet. Like that's the 100% vision. Like we want the entire planet to feel like this is all happening
mm,
together. It's a communal feeling, you know. But yeah. So like that's if you want to talk about like the sacred timeline.
mm.
Like, are you familiar with like the sacred timeline from Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So the Sacred Timeline is cinematic docuseries on Netflix, King of Naturals tournament where the Natty King gets crowned, feature-length film, and anime. That's the Sacred Timeline. Anything that exists outside of that, a Natty Queen anime, Men's Physique, all of that is just branches from the Sacred Timeline, which I'm completely open
Wow.
to entertaining. It would just require like someone would have to spearhead it, So like I don't want to spearhead fully the Natty Queen. Like I want to be like a guiding force, but I would like to appoint someone who's like I want to turn the Natty Queen into like a huge success. And I'm just like checking in to make sure that like they have everything that they need in order to do that. And making
Mm.
sure that the storyline stays cohesive with the overall Natty cinematic universe. If that answers your question.
No, no, that's good. Yeah. And then I remember talking in our old chat. How you're talking about doing like 4 years apart, so that you can give
Mm-hmm.
competitors time to go to their other divisions. And
Yep. Yep.
um so obviously we're gonna have our bodybuilding and classic physique. Then you're gonna have your natty queen. I'm not sure exactly what category you're going with, the natty queen.
I
um
gotta talk to a lot of women to make that decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third year, right? Men's physique, and then fourth year, is that when like everything starts like reversing or like resetting again? So now it's back
Ideally,
to open and bodybuilding and then back
yeah,
to
yeah,
strength. Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah. That would be like the ideal scenario.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking about that. And also, there's another thing I want to ask you about. I've heard you talking about it in other IG lives. You said you've been in this thing for 2 years. And what do you mean by that when you say you've been in this for two? You've been in bodybuilding for 2 years? You've been working out for 2 years? Or
bodybuilding,
bodybuilding? Yeah,
bodybuilding.
okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say you got a crazy physique. I'm like, there's no way.
Thank you. No, no. I've been working out for over 15 years,
Okay.
if not longer. But like before 2 years ago, maybe three at this point. But before like 3 years ago, I would work out for like 3 months out of the year, and then like walk around with those gains for like the whole year. And I was just doing that every single year. I'd be like, "Yo, you're looking kind of small. Let me hop in the gym for 3 months," and then I just stopped working out.
Yeah, I had those cycles a bit as a kid too, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, bro, you're fucking looking leaner too, for sure.
Oh, I'm on a
Um,
cut for
have
sure.
you,
I plan
yeah,
on doing a
have
show
you
in December probably.
when you doing your next DEXA scan
This week Thursday.
Thursday? Well,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely, it definitely looks like you dropped for sure.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
thinking like 10.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
easily, bro. Yeah, because you got like sit down abs too. It's crazy. Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
man. Thank you,
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me, bro. I
dude.
don't
You
really got
got
too
great
many more
questions,
questions for you. But I'll definitely keep brainstorming and keep asking away.
dude. And remember, like this is supposed to feel like a community project for like all of natural bodybuilding. This is like we're all a part of this project. So like, dude, welcome to the team.
Yeah, man, and like I love that. It's so inclusive, and you know, honestly, just bodybuilding in general, like it's an amazing community. Everyone's, you know, really pretty friendly. Everyone's uplifting and motivating,
Yeah.
and like, you know, it's just something I've never really had in life. And like, I'm really happy that I found bodybuilding and,
Me
you know,
too,
got into
man.
all this, man.
Me
Um,
too.
but anyways, man, it
Yeah.
was great chatting with you.
Yeah.
I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, bro.
And
It was
others,
great
take
talking
care,
to you
bro.
too.
Take care.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.